This is the Raw Life Health Show. Raw Life.
Hello everybody, it's Paul Neeson with the Raw Life Health Show. Okay everybody, I've been traveling a lot and I'm back here and boy, I've had something on my computer I've been wanting to talk about for quite a while now, but I've just been too busy traveling to get to it. I finally got here yesterday, I printed it out and I'm going to talk about this now. You know how some things just leave you speechless? Well, I have to say when it comes to food and the way the industry works today, nothing surprises me anymore. But this is quite interesting. Here's the title. First test tube hamburger will be ready this fall. Did you hear that correctly? A test tube hamburger. Let's just read it and see what that says. It says, the world's first test tube meat, a hamburger made from a cow's stem cells, will be produced this fall. Dutch scientists told a major science conference this past Sunday, and this was from about a month ago. Test tube hamburgers. Something has to be unhealthy about this. I mean, hamburgers by themselves are unhealthy, but test tube hamburgers. I mean, genetically modifying hamburgers. This is just insane. But this is what they're doing. It says the ingredients for the first hamburger are still in a laboratory phase. But we have committed ourselves to making a couple of thousand small tissues and then assemble them into a hamburger. I mean, that really does sound absolutely disgusting. And I would say nobody would go and eat that, because who would want to eat that? But then I have to say, who's going to know? Because how are you going to tell the difference? Because they're going to make it look like and taste like a real hamburger. And the reason why they're doing this is what they say. They say they're doing this to develop such meat products for mass consumption to reduce environmental and health costs of conventional food products. Environmental and health costs. First of all, this is going to just completely destroy and wipe out anything that's left of a so-called health system, because so many people are going to get sick from this crazy thing. But to reduce the environmental impact, well, maybe they should get rid of all the factory farms and people should go on a vegetarian or vegan diet or even a raw food diet. That would certainly do better. You know, maybe they should plant some fruit trees instead of feeding the cattle what they're feeding them and treating them the way they are at the factory farms. You want to reduce the environmental impact? It says the global demand for meat is expected to rise by 60% by 2050, said American scientists who organized the symposium. But the majority of Earth's pastures lands are already in use, he said, so conventional livestock products can only meet the booming demand by further expansion into nature. This is absolutely speechless. Absolutely speechless. I mean, folks, get off your meat, get off your burgers, stop eating hot dogs. It's not helping the environment, it's not helping your health. And test tube hamburgers. Test tube hamburgers. What in the world? What in the world? I mean, can you imagine what it's going to look like in about 50 years with the food, or 40 years, or 30 years, or who knows what's going on right now with the food? They're probably testing it right now. Test tube hamburgers. You know, I didn't see the movie yet, the Dr. Seuss movie, The Vortex, or whatever it's called, but I saw the coming attractions, and apparently they cut down all the trees, and there were no trees left in the land. Well, that's what's happening today. And the cattle is not the reason there's no trees left in the land. The mass factory farmers is the reason. And I guarantee Monsanto or some of these other mass consumption companies are behind this too, these test tube hamburgers. And I mean, it's just Frankenstein, Franken food. What can we say? Well, we can say, stop doing this. Stop supporting it. The best way you can stop supporting it is stop consuming factory farm foods. You know, I'm a vegan and I recommend a raw food diet, but if you don't want to be a vegan, at least get your meat and your animal products from a place that actually is doing it the way it's supposed to be done. This place Beyond Organic. Check them out if you want to eat animal products. That's the right way it's being done. You know, as for me, I say we could just stop all this nonsense and go on a vegetarian diet and we don't have to worry about it at all. We don't have to think about it at all. You know, I also teach about the Bible. In the Bible, it talks about the animals that are clean and the animals that are unclean, and people get confused about this. I say if you're a vegetarian, you don't have to worry about what animals you're eating. This world is crazy. This world is backwards. And test tube hamburgers. You know, I want to figure out how to make test tube durians. Test tube durians so I could have my own little laboratory right in my house. I don't have to have a tree in the tropics. I could have my own little laboratory right in the house and make test tube durians. Now that is an idea. You know, I'll never leave the house. I'll never need to leave the house. How about test tube jackfruit? Now we're talking. Now we're talking. All right, everybody. If you have any comments or questions about this crazy thing, post them below the video. If you are a member of Raw Life Health Show, get those questions in. I have saved your questions, and I'm finally back here, and I'll be answering them for you, my viewers. If you're not a member, go to rawlifehealthshow.com and sign up and get all your questions answered and see previous questions I've answered. Until then, everybody, have a great day and a great Raw Life.
Nature's wealth, good for your health. This is the Raw Life Health Show. Raw Life, brighten up your life.